Chicken feed has got to be the most challenging part of rearing and raising poultry. In poultry farming, the highest expenditure, I must say, in my experience at least, and in the experience of farmers I've interacted with, being able to feed these little ones until they are big enough for meat or laying eggs has got to be the highest or the hardest part of raising poultry. And so I've found a solution to reduce the expenditure. When I started this journey, I thought I had it all together. I have 200 birds, sasso, chicken, and in two batches. The first batch is 6 weeks old, going to 7, and the second one is 4 weeks old. And this means that I have to feed an entire 200 chicken. At first, it was easy because they were just little ones, and it was consuming like 10 kg, maybe in 2 to 3 days together, the two batches. But then things started getting worse. A 50 kg bag of starter crumbs that goes for roughly 4,000, close to 5,000, was being consumed in like 4 days. And that is quite costly. It was consuming my cash a lot. So by the time these chicks, I'm almost calling them kids because they're just like babies, were hitting 1 month, I was ready to give up on the feed. But because the plan was not to sell them while they're still chicks, the plan is to raise them for meat and eggs. I found a shortcut. So the thing is, I acquired maize, spoiled maize, but it was quite clean. And that is what I had crushed to obtain my maize bran and maize jam at the same time. So this is what I'm going to feed the chicks, but because I want them to also have all the other nutrients that might not be provided for in this batch of feed, I'm going to mix with the batch that I used for the commercial batch, the commercial feed, I mean. So that's what I'm doing. I'm mixing my maize with the commercial feed for chick mash so that I can feed them and wean them off the chick mash slowly before they can now start enjoying this other meal. So the plan is, after I have weaned them off the chick mash, I'm going to also add slowly, gradually, other ingredients into my feed, into my homemade feed. So the first one that I'm going to add in the next feed is fish meal, or omena in this case, to provide for proteins for growth, because majorly these are just carbohydrates and they're going to help them to feel full and to feel active. But I want to also add proteins for them so that they can grow faster, even if I'm going through this shortcut of feeding them. Look at how much I have now. From that little one, I had 10 kg of chick mash from Fugo, the company. This is the bag that I had left. I had bought the 50 kg one, and in about 4 days it was almost gone. So I had to supplement. So I'm mixing so that they can have a smooth transition, so they don't have to have stomach upsets because of the sudden change of feed. But still, I'm going to add liquid paraffin to their water as I introduce this new feed. Look at it. I think it looks just like the commercial feed. After all, what do they use to make the commercial feed? I know they have some additives in there, but the main thing is the maize bran and the maize jam, and that's what I've provided for them here. So watch this channel to see how that goes, how they're going to fare on. You see, these are some of the chicks that the first batch is the same size as these little ones that are enjoying the feed right here, right now. And it seems like it's quite a treat because rather than go hungry, this is quite a good meal. And because I do not want them to have any stomach upsets, I'm going to introduce liquid paraffin to their water so that it acts as a laxative to smoothen their droppings so that they do not constipate. When you introduce new feed, they sometimes cause stomach upsets, and this manifests through blood in their feces. And we do not want that, especially when you have a large population. If you're out there and you're doing poultry farming, leave a comment down below and tell us, how do you manage the feed challenge? Because with the vaccines, it's a one-time thing, maybe weekly, and then after like 1 month or the seventh, is it the seventh or the 8th week, you remain with another. After like the 16th week, I think you're done. You now have to only give them the booster Newcastle vaccine, so that is not really so costly. But with the feed, it's a daily thing. These things can make a lot of noise. You can leave the house for them because of all the noise they make when they're hungry. A hungry chick is not something you want to entertain. So this is going to serve us for maybe 2 weeks, and it's going to give me a break for some time. I've acquired more maize that I'm going to dry well, clean it up, and have it ground so that I can now be ready with the next batch of feed before we are done with this. Let's go feed the chicken. I'm sure they're going to be happy. They're going to have quite a lot today, unlike the other days when we've been rationing. We had to ration because, hey, they were going to eat us alive or peck each other. They do that when they're super hungry and there's no food. But now there's plenty of food for them for the next few days, and that's going to give me a break. It's going to give my finances a break for sure. These are the little birds. This is the four weeks old batch. They're growing quite fast and they're almost done with the brooding stage. I'm going to introduce this feed for them gradually, and then I'm going to wean them off and feed them with this new type of feed consistently as I add all these other additives. I'm going to acquire the additives from Tanzania border. That's where we have lots of them at a good price. I'll acquire the protein through the omena is called fish meal, and also calcium, and also is it soybean? All these additives that are going to make the meal super nutritional for the birds. They didn't have any feed because we've been preparing this for quite a while. But you know what? The little that we had given them before going out to mix the feed is already over. And these birds are always hungry. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I've been underfeeding them because I was limited in cash. The little that I had saved and thought was enough for the feeds proved to be just peanut. It was just peanuts for the little birds. But they're growing well. I love the new growth. And I know that in no time they're going to be quite independent and also feed more. But we're going to be ready for that because now we are better prepared. This is the first batch that's around 6 weeks, headed to 7 weeks, almost 2 months. The camera does not do them justice. They look really big in person. They're almost like a little chicken already, not so little anymore. They're just big birds. And I'm glad that in like a month or two, they're going to be enough for poultry, and the others are going to start laying eggs. I'm going to do away with most of the cocks. I have a lot of cocks in this population, and then I'll remain with the cockerels so that we can now the hens, so that we can now start enjoying eggs. The goal is self-sufficiency on the farm, and this is what we are aiming towards. Diseases have been at bay so far. We've vaccinated them faithfully, and I believe that with this, we are going to have a good population to start our poultry farm with. See how they enjoy the meal? They do not really care what they're consuming. They just want to eat something. And the little noises they make, hey, they can be beautiful when they're full, but when they're hungry, you can't even stay in the same space with them because it's a lot of noise. You just have to get up and go get them some food. But now they're enjoying, and this is going to last a while. I have booked two sacks, two 100 kg sacks of maize that we acquire at quite a good price here in the village at 30 shillings per tin, 2 kg tin. So that is way cheaper. That's Kenyan shillings. So that's way cheaper than the commercial feed. I know the quality might not be the same, but I'm going for the best. I'll just go for nice maize, not the rotten, the over spoiled one. It's just slightly spoiled. In the next video, I'm going to show you how I'm going to the type of feed, the type of maize we use before we're going to take them to the posho mill for grinding. It's quite clean maize, and so quality is assured. Now the only thing is we need to go and get all these other additives to give the birds a balanced diet, so to speak. And so these are going to be really nice on the table as a meal, egg laying, and later for selling for profit. Of course, you cannot consume all these birds. But the thing is, nowadays I'm really enjoying consuming stuff that grows here on the farm because I watched them grow. I know what they have been feeding on. I know they're disease free. I know they're organically bred, no boosters, no excess antibiotics, and this makes for quite a satisfying meal because this is a good quality product that you're consuming because you raised it yourself. This is the beauty of village life from here in Kenya, East Africa, Africa. Let me know your experiences in raising poultry, because it's through these personal experiences that we get to learn from each other. I've really enjoyed this part of rearing chicken because it's quite a relief. So this is the liquid paraffin that I add to their water to make sure that the meal that we've just introduced does not cause any stomach upset. So you put a few drops into their drinking water, and these birds can drink water. If you're thinking of raising them, just know that.